And welcome to TIA's Connectivity Jam right here in Dallas, Texas. We're here with Dave Staelen. He's General Manager of Lifecycle Service Assurance at Spirent. And Dave, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Now, Spirent is very well positioned in the network transformation space, really from an operational assurance, network validation, and service testing area. Why is that so important? Are really those three areas important to that transition?
Sure. So as service providers try to change their networks and evolve to virtualization, it's all about the need for speed and lowering cost. And they have to bring new services to market much faster than they've ever done in the past. And by doing that, they also have to dramatically lower their costs in order to remain competitive in tomorrow's world.
As far as service providers getting their product and getting their product to market out of the lab, but really into the real world, how close are we in that area?
Yeah, they're spending a lot of time on it. It's called DevOps, Development Operations. It's that transition from the lab to the production network. First of all, you have to build in test. You can't add test later on. Historically, service providers have sometimes taken a couple years to bring on board a new service. That has to change, and they recognize that. So they have to bring these services on in weeks and months rather than years. So they're already a long way down that path. There's a lot of work to do, for sure, but a lot of it is called agile development. So how quickly and how agile are they in developing new services? And that means that the integration between what happens in the lab and what happens in the production network has to be very tightly interwoven.
Now, of course, Spirent's very much involved in this transition from the traditional network to the virtual network. What's your role? What's your role in that transition, maybe from a hybrid approach?
Yep. So hybrid networks are going to be around for a while. Networks don't evolve overnight. You'll see networks that are in place for 10, 20, 25 years sometimes. So that physical legacy network is going to be around for a long time. The CFOs at these organizations will continue the standard depreciation schedule for all the investment they've made. But as they're rolling out new services and new networks, you'll see them do more and more virtualization, and in fact see a blend of physical and virtual networks. You'll have certain parts of the network that might be virtualized and certain parts that will remain physical. Over the next 10 or 15 years, it'll probably all move to virtual, but in the meantime, it'll be a hybrid approach.
Now, as far as testing and measuring networks, how are analytics playing a big role in that?
Yeah, analytics are key because in order to reduce cost and bring these services to market very quickly, you have to automate things. And you can't automate things if you don't know where your problems are. So, for example, a large wireless service provider here in the States might have 30, 40, 50, 80 billion records a day, 80 billion transactions a day that they have to manage. How can they sort through all that unless it's in an automated fashion? So you have to do data modeling, find out quickly where the problems are. You have to anticipate, get to the root cause, and solve those problems, and do it in an automated function.
Dave, can you give us an example of that? How getting a product to market is much faster in a virtual network as opposed to a traditional network?
Yeah, so I think the model that a lot of the legacy service providers follow is Amazon. So Amazon is, of course, the e-commerce king. But then they also built a huge web services company, a big cloud company, and now they're actually even getting into the content space. They're able to bring new production quality software to market in less than a minute. And as I said previously, service providers historically have sometimes taken a year or more to do that. So service providers will never get to where Amazon is because they are network cloud-based is where they're going. It's much more sophisticated than the network that an Amazon runs, but they're heading in that direction. And they do that through automation, they do that through virtualization, and they do that through streamlining and really a closed-loop method of looking at the whole network.
Clearly a clear path in open source networking, moving towards NFV, network functions virtualization. Are there a lack of standards, and does that concern you?
It doesn't concern me. Standards evolve over time. but there's been a lot of movement in the last few years. We're now in a situation where we have ONAP, which is a combination of a couple different standards that have come together. One of those being eComp, that has moved more into this combined standard that was formed with ETSI in Europe. That's driving things forward. Standards are never perfect, and standards always evolve. I think there's a lot of work to be done, and people are recognizing that they have to link together what's needed to make the network operate properly with how it is tested to ensure these things happen in a closed loop fashion.
Dave, thanks for being part of the Connectivity Jam.
Thank you very much.